So I'm here just to talk about how we at Google can help you to grow your business. What do we do for startups? So as mentioned before, my name is Sebastian Cárcamo. I am the Startup Success Manager, and I work or am responsible for the program here in Spain and also in Portugal and, let's say, also Turkey. The program is called Google for Startups Cloud Program, and we help you in 3 different ways, or there are 3 different pillars of support. The first one is financial support in terms of credits. We grant you credits, different amounts, depending on what is your business model, what is your product, and what is the stage of maturity. We also give you technical support. You will have contact with our custom engineers, and also we grant you business support. We can connect you inside Google with really key stakeholders, like for example, Google Ventures, also accelerators, and DeepMind, for example. I'm going to start by talking a little bit more about our financial support. In this area will be the scale level of the program, in which in the first year, we will give you $100,000 in credits, which are going to be used only in Google Cloud products. And during the second year, you will get a 20% discount in your monthly bill, up to $100,000. That means that during the 2 years along of the program, you can have up to $200,000 in Google Cloud credits. In addition to that, you will also get $12,000 in what we call the Google Cloud Enhanced Support. This is kind of a technical assistance support in which a technician from Google Cloud can actually help you if you have, for example, a misconfiguration problem with the platform itself. In terms of the technical support, if you're in the scale part of the program, you will also get access to our customer engineering team. So, for example, what do? They can help you to build and incorporate best practices in your architecture if you're working with Google Cloud. So let's say an architecture review. If you need to, for example, have an idea or how to integrate generative AI into your business, we can give you some kind of recommendation on how to do it and architect it. We also understand that many of the developers or CTOs are not much aware of how the GCP console works, Google Cloud. So we also have trainings, and we have also our learning platform, which is called Google Cloud Skills Boost. You will also have access to that, and you also have all the support from the Google ecosystem that will help you to learn about the console. Now, coming into business support, as mentioned before, you will also get contacted or the contact to experts worldwide. You will get invited to events. You will have the opportunity to work with and connect with other startups, and actually also to contact other accelerators. Now, we understand that there are different products that you may be developing right now. So we have created 2 new programs in which we focus in those Web3 startups and also the ones who have or are AI first, meaning that the product that they are developing is an AI product. For those AI, we grant additional credits because we understand that it's very resource intensive to train a machine learning model. So during the first year, you will get $250,000 in Google Cloud credits. And during the second year, the same discount of the 20% on a monthly basis is also going to be active. And for those Web3 startups, we are now accepting different types of, let's say, tokens as investment, kind of like a correlation with investment. What is the eligibility of these programs? You will have to be backed by a VC, like have equity funding. Also, you will have to raise a fund or equity from a pre-seed, seed, or Series A. And that Series A has to be no longer than 12 years ago or a year ago. And also, you wouldn't have to be in the program before. Now, we also understand that there are many startups that are not backed by VCs now. They are pretty early stage. So we have another program which is called the Google for Startups Cloud program in the start tier. So you will get only $2,000 in credits, and also you will get kind of a technical assistance from like a self-service point of view, in which you will get access to our learning platforms. Also, you will get 1 year for free in the Google Workspace Business Plus, and also some additional credits in Google Maps, for example, in the APIs in Google Maps. Now, if you want to apply, please feel free. Here is the QR code. If you want to scan it, we'll be happy to inform you a little bit more about the program. We have a booth here. In that being said, I just want to let you know that, okay, one thing is that I'm telling you, and another thing is how do you evaluate the program and the success coming from another entrepreneur. And that's how I want to introduce my good friend and territory manager in Google Cloud for Spain, Eric Gonzalez, who is going to take us a little bit more.
Good afternoon, thank you for being with us. We have today with us our customer, Bayors. We decided to invite Bayors to talk to you guys today and share this time with us because they are a very good example of what Google is doing for companies. From our team in Google Cloud, how we are managing the startups that are starting and are emerging at the market. So we have with us today Pedro Coelho that has decided to join us, and I will run through questions so he can share with you guys in what way Google is helping communities, organizations, different companies, and of course, startups. So Pedro, thank you so much for being with us.
No, thank you for inviting us over here and also for all the support we already had from you until today.
So Pedro, I have a few questions ready for you. So, and I want to actually read this one because I think it's the most important question we have. So, what is the direct or indirect impact Google Cloud has offered to buyers that translate into terms of social impact for you?
Well, it's a hard start, so maybe I should tell you what Bayors is doing first to explain the social impact we have. We are a health AI company trying to enhance clinical trials by reducing 50% of the cost and time that a clinical trial takes to be done. So obviously we're talking about an impact that is both on patients' lives, but also on costs that pharmaceutical companies are spending to conduct those clinical trials and bring in those drugs to market. So if we start from there, Google allowed us to basically build our product with zero funding, which is obviously something that is extremely hard in today's day and age to get funding, number one, from external investors, but also having a partnership that allows us to build a product with AI, which is probably the industry that has the most CapEx intensive businesses in the world that we haven't seen in history. So if we start from that side, I think we are saving patients' lives, saving money to companies that are developing that, and also allowing patients to have a second chance that they probably wouldn't have if we wouldn't have the chance to first work with you guys and having that opportunity, but also number two, be able to develop a product for free. So thank you to you guys, also to you because you've been our point of contact from day one, but also to Google and the Google Startups programs because, again, we wouldn't be here without them. So that's part of the impact, I would say.
Lovely. And to be honest, Guy, from this experience, so basically what we did with Bayors was listen to them, see where they were at, in what way we can move them forward, and using Google Cloud technology and any resources that we can connect them with, like networking, events, anything, training for their team, anything possible to make them grow, no matter what stage of their MVP process they are, or where stage of as a company they are. We want to go along with startups. We are happy to help startups progress through their natural cycle, no matter what stage of your cycle you are. So, Pedro, which Google Cloud product you think that has helped you the most and why?
So being an AI company, I think Vertex AI is definitely one of the products that we probably use the most and probably spent most of the money or the credit on anyway. And I think props to Google for developing a product that allows Gen AI companies to build something based on that doesn't necessarily have to start from zero, right? I think that's one piece that it is the future of AI in a way, where you can have an integrated platform that helps you building a product that becomes a fully fledged product to clients, whatever in our case is patients, physicians, and so forth. And that is definitely the product we use the most. There's obviously others. BigQuery is one of them that we use to store our database on, for example, and probably one we use the most as well. But I would say Vertex AI is one of the latest creations, as well as Gemini, that we use quite intensively in probably ways that people cannot think, but that also costs a lot of money to use. So having those credits from the beginning was also very helpful for us to be able to do that. So.
Perfect, lovely. So something super important that we have to say to you today is that in Google, what we do is we listen to your needs and we try to connect you with all the Google expertise around the world and bring you that expertise so you can take advantage of it to help your company grow, to make you go further and beyond in the way you want. But that energy has to come from you. So we try to set you up with the right tools, but you are the one that have the power to use that tools and convert them into profit benefits for you. Okay, so Sebas, I don't know if you want to ask anything to Pedro. Do you have any question
Yeah,
that you want to share regarding your
a
experience
little bit,
as
how
well?
was your journey into working with the console? It was intuitive, it's something that you say, like it was very difficult for me from the end. What could you change, or what do you think is something that you love from the GCP console?
I mean, maybe the disclosure is I'm not a tech guy, right? So maybe start from there. And I'm also not only here to say the positive things. So Google Console is obviously a very complex console, right? So don't have to say all the negatives there. But that said, once you understand what you're looking for, then it's pretty easy to find it, right? And that is the piece that I think was meaningful for us. And maybe even answering beyond the console piece, it was a hell of a journey for us to identify Google as a partner, right? I mean, I think every startup has to make a choice, right? You cannot work with AWS, Azure, and Google in one go. So we had to go through the process of finding one that suits our needs best, but also that shows us the potential of working together as a team. And that is what I think was most meaningful for us, was the ability to look at your console, understand everything you're doing and how you're doing it, and how it integrates with our needs. But also the support you gave us from day one, from both Eric and then the rest of the team. I mean, Eric, I was just hearing you saying, like, the engineers you have internally and the support you gave us, and that is exactly some of the reasons why I genuinely believe we've made the right choice to be here with Google until to now, and certainly moving forward. But also the different programs you have for Google startups. I know you're more here to speak about Google Cloud, but you invited us originally to join the Google Health AI program, which we just came from in Paris last week. And the added value it already have in our history, which is only a 5-month-old company, has been extremely significant. So I think maybe answering that question in two things. On one side, on the console, but also the journey of choosing the right cloud provider, right? Because ultimately, it's not an easy choice, and there's probably even more than the 3 of them that I told you, but you have to make one, right? And I think we made the right choice that way. So.
Amazing to hear.
Well, now that you mentioned the program, can you tell me, in your opinion, what are the 3 top advantages of working with Google for startups?
I'll make some free publicity to someone else as well while I'm here. I've been an Apple customer for a long time, right? And the ecosystem, I think, is great. And I'm a big fan for Apple because of that. So once I realized that there is an ecosystem in Google, which is not too dissimilar to that of Apple for a company that is creating a product from scratch, right? Whether that's the engineers, whether that's the console, whether that's the Vertex AI world of products as well as the people you guys have in your network, right? So the program allowed us to connect with people that can help us a lot. First, validating our products, what we're trying to do, but also understanding from the commercial standpoint what your own clients are looking for in companies like us. And that's something that we wouldn't have access to if it wasn't for the program and if it wasn't for Google's extensive ecosystem of companies and products and clients that you have that certainly allow us to do that, right? So.
Amazing, lovely. And if I have to ask you, what are the technologies you are planning to use in the future and why?
I saw a slide when Seba was presenting, which was talking about Gen AI on one side and Web3 on the other side. And actually, we never spoken about this publicly in the world, so this is the first thing here. But beyond Gen AI, we want to use Web3 to validate what is clinical data. And there's meaningful validated data from, for example, a patient's records that you come to a hospital and you can use Web3 to tokenize that product and be able to be 100% sure that whatever you're looking at as an exam is actually a genuine original exam and not someone that forged it. So I think that's something that we are already looking into that ecosystem of Web3 and certainly blockchain, and how can we use that to validate that data more meaningfully. And I think something we are very excited for because we understand the Google potential and the Google ecosystem that can help us building that. But it's definitely a first. I think most of our investors even don't know about this. So sorry if I'm disclosing over a bit too much too early. But that's definitely one, I think, Eric, that we are very excited about. And I think the ecosystem of Google has a unique advantage point to many others that can help us doing that. So.
Okay, so now that we know all this, how will you describe the level of support and collaboration you are getting with us? Because, to be honest, I feel in some point we get so familiar with the customer that now I feel when I share time with you and with your team that is over there, I feel that I'm with my friends, that more than with a customer. Like, you know what I mean? So for me, the relationship gets to a point where I feel that you are part of Google or part of the family, and we can actually talk in a really simple manner, understand each other's point of view, make the stuff work based on the relationship and support. So in your experience, how will you describe what is to work with us and the level of support you are getting?
I mean, we were saying it yesterday, and I apologize for any words I might say next, but I think we were talking about yesterday how Google became a corporate company, but it's still in a way behaving in a lot of ways as a startup, right? And I think as a startup, we have that no bullshit type of culture that is straightforward, and whenever we need something, we say it, right? And we don't have to go around the bush trying to explain what we're looking for and what we need. And I think that the ability to speak openly, especially with you, because obviously you're our main point of contact, but also just saying, hey, this is the situation, this is what we're looking after. Can you help us or can you not help us, right? I mean, and ultimately the answer has always been yes. So in a way, maybe we've been lucky with having you as a point of contact, but ultimately the answer has been yes, because there's also this level of trust and this ability to speak openly, right? And I think, unfortunately, when you have a client and provider type of relationship, that is ruined in many ways, but we are able to have that almost like family-like environment where we can speak openly without having any strings attached to that, right? And if the answer is no, the answer is no, and we move on. I mean, we had a case, don't need to speak about it openly, but you know what I'm referring to, where sometimes things don't go the best way, but we are always able to turn that around, right? And that is the way we need to be. I mean, ultimately, we are also not a surrogate company of Google, right? So we have to understand that there is business first, and you helping us is great, obviously, but that you also have to make something in the future, right? So it is an investment in a way, even though it's not financial investment today, in our relationship that we are curating here to become something much more meaningful in the long term, right? And I think that's something that we are very fortunate to have both ways, but that doesn't usually happen in many ways when you're trying to make a provider and client relationship. So.
I get you 100%. And to be honest, that's why I decided to invite you today with us, because I think that they are the right sample of the way we utilize in Google to support startups. So what we want from you guys is to come to us in a simple manner, explain what you want, understand that we have the experience to working with thousands of startups every year. We meet startups every single day. In my case, I can meet 12, 15 startups per day. So sometimes I will give you tough advice that will bring you to the point you want. We will listen what you're planning to do, and we will try to recommend some paths that you can take in order to be successful. Because at the end of the day, what we want from you guys is to monetize, to convert your dreams, your ideas, your illusions into something tangible, something that you can take action on, something that you can promote. And as well, in the case of Yours, I was in love with the project as soon as they told me what they were doing, because I knew that they are doing something good for society as well. They are planning to improve something that anyone can take benefits in our world. So that's super important. And we have few steps planned for them. In Google, what we do, we try to define a roadmap for you, where you establish your infra if it's possible. We help you then the next step, security, artificial intelligence. We help you to build the whole infrastructure, your product as a whole, and then we try to help you monetize. We try to help you improve your revenue. So I will invite you to stay in this stage, because after this talk, one of my colleagues will be talking about Marketplace. That for me is the next step and the right step for buyers. And it's a super interesting tool that we provide in Google to keep the support we have for startups and to help them sell their solution around the world by all the Google sellers. So in our Marketplace, we put your solution, your ideas into place to generate revenue, which is super important. So Pedro, we are super happy to have you with us. I think the key factor here has been that every time we sit down and we set up a plan, in both sides, we accomplish what we decide to agree on, and that's, for me, successful. And that's key, for the success. And that's why I think you guys have progressed so much. I'm super happy that you are going above and beyond and growing. So thank you so much for trusting Google, and we are super happy to keep helping you. And we will see you that you will be a public company soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric. And thank you, Google.
Thank you.